Here, you go ahead. You light them all up with all your offers. Guys, welcome to the Awkward Watersport Guys. Are you ready to get hard
Sold.
pitched by Greg Fisher, chief head salesman of this organization?
I've made some sales. I've made some sales in this organization. Sold some sponsors.
Yeah, you got it, man.
Okay, welcome to another episode of the Awkward Watersport Guys. And little hint, little secret: the Awkward Watersport Guys could be some different type of guys in the future. So
Yeah, we got some big stuff happening.
Yeah, a lot of big stuff happening. So I guess we can get right to it. Before we get into our show today, we got a really interesting topic that we've talked about before. Kevin's just has a lot of built up emotions right now. He's ready to.
I got steam coming out of my ears.
You got steam coming out. These are going to be one of those episodes that you'll remember. But 100%. Before we get to that, we got a lot of stuff going on. So we just ended our super early bird promotion. That was like such a marketing. What do you call it? I don't know. Bonanza. Yes. No, it was just a brilliant marketing name for our promotion. Super early bird. We could have called it early bird. No, we called it the super early bird. But that just ended, and we sold quite a few tickets. So
we should have called it the American Eagle Special, the Bald Eagle Special.
The Bald Eagle Special.
Super early bird.
Super early bird. But it actually was, because last year we didn't start selling tickets until April. So we started January, and a lot of you bought and saved some money. So we did decide to start another promotion. It's $50 off tickets, and that runs through March 31st. So if you go to watersportpodcast.com, you can get your ticket to the Port. If it's your first time listening, the Port is our annual event. This is our 6th year doing it. It's going to be in Destin, Florida, October 25th through the 27th. And some of you mentioned to me that you're not ready to buy tickets. Great. If you're not ready, keep in mind there's a 30-day cancellation policy, and you get a full refund. So if you just get your tickets now, you'll save $50 and you'll have them. So
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to make this commitment. You fucking knuckleheads, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just like, commit, dude. What are you doing, man? Commit, man. What do they say? The worst decision you can make is indecision. Buy now. Don't think about it. We'll see you here in October. Make some more money. Grow your business. What's there to think about?
Well done.
Yeah, I know.
If you are a sponsor listening, we had 35 amazing sponsors last year. Or if you're thinking on coming to the Port for the first time, get a hold of Kevin at watersportpodcast.com.
Just send him Kevin at DestinyWaterAdventures.com.
Kevin at DestinyWaterAdventures.com.
I'm not participating in your Microsoft bullshit, dude. I'm just not going to do it, man.
Yeah.
I hate Microsoft.
Well, we got booths. We got presentation sponsorships. We got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, man. Reach out. See what it's all about. Talk to me. Just give me an email. We'll jump on a call. I'll explain to you how I don't care if you sponsor or not. That there's more value in it for you than it is for me. And this is something that we do for fun because, I've got about 90 other things that I got to do that pay my bills. This not being one of them. So come be a sponsor, make some money, grow your business. Same goddamn thing, man. You know what I mean? Nothing to think about. Let's go.
I'll leave it to this. We surveyed our attendees, and we had about, 20% of our attendees fill out the survey. And when we asked them about value for the money and would they come back, it was like it's like 90+% of people that attended said that they would come back and they felt they got excellent value for their money. And that's
awesome.
That's just, you don't see that. And this is our 6th year. We keep growing it. I think last year we had 250, 260. And then this year we're anticipating 400 operators. So this is going to be a big event. So give Kevin a call. We'd love to have you. Lastly, we do have our peer coaching. We almost have enough to start our group. We just need a few more. So if you're looking to join our peer coaching groups, we're going to start that next month here. So if you are looking to grow your business, if you've reached maybe a ceiling, you're trying to break through it, we have some great operators already signed up. So you're going to be in a group of some of the best and brightest, I believe. So yeah, give us a call and learn more about the peer coaching. So
yeah, email Kevin at destinywateradventures.com, whatever it is you need, you know, like you're never afraid to get in my DMs and ask for free advice. So that's coming to a swift end. No, I'm happy. I'm happy to help, man. Don't want to always feel free to DM, shoot me an email if you guys get any questions about anything. I try to be as helpful as possible.
Oh, you never answered the question I asked you last night.
Well,
have you ever seen Paul Blart? Paul Blart, the movie.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I got a do not disturb that starts at 10:15, and nothing gets through that, especially on Messenger. No,
you never seen
one
Paul
was
Blart?
the first one was so horrible.
Oh my God, it's so funny. You get the second one is even funnier. Oh man,
you're such a dork, dude. Such a dork, man.
Dude, my son and I were just laughing hysterically last night watching that movie.
You and your 10-year-old have the same sense of humor. I tried to watch Step Brothers with my daughters the other night. They did not get it at all.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, it's a classic. I was shocked that they didn't get it. I was like, "What? This is awesome. This is most juvenile humor. How can you not guys be into this, man?"
Who's your favorite 90s comedian?
Are
you Adam Sandler guy?
Yeah, I was just gonna say probably Adam Sandler.
Yeah, Adam Sandler. I'm kind of like a mix of Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell. I like, and Chris Kattan was pretty good too.
See, I kind of put Will Ferrell in 2000s, because Sandler came out with the comedy tapes in the 95, 96. And Will Ferrell, he had him and Chris Kattan had that one movie probably by like 2000, maybe 99, but I didn't think it was that good. And then it was when they started when Adam McKay got involved. And he started doing like the everyman stuff, Step Brothers, Anchorman, Talladega Nights. Like those were just the breakout hilarious ones. But yeah, these days, all the guys I used to really love are getting super political. And I'm just like, meh. I'm just like, I love Seth Rogen. I don't really give a shit about his politics personally. Any of them,
No.
That Grammys was just the most preposterous thing I've ever seen in my life. So I'm starting to get to that age now where I am probably one more monster truck show away from listening to country music. I'm just fully buying into the conservative ethos. I'm just like, I love my lawn. I love being left alone. I love being ornery.
Have you started watching Fox News yet?
Yeah, I mean that's the final straw where just you come into the house and it's nothing.
Have you started to buy gold coins?
Yeah,
commemorative coins.
Commemorative gold coins and Fox News. That is the final boss of becoming fully embracing the conservative life. Yeah.
So I will listen to all spectrums of political commentary. I'll listen to ultra liberal and ultra conservative because I like to hear everyone's side of the story. I'm very much in the middle. So
I used to,
but when I listen to the far right stuff, it's always the same commercials. It's like health insurance, it's probiotics and like supplements. It's gold coins, bullion.
Yeah, prepper stuff.
Prepper shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard somebody say, I really heard a great saying. It said, if you're in your 20s, if you're not a liberal, you're heartless. And if you're in your 40s, you're not a conservative, you're brainless. And I'm like, that is a great saying. And I probably could not agree more, which is a fantastic way to segue into our topic today. And it should be a rousing one because we had a post last night, which is what sparked this episode. From an anonymous participant. That bummed me out, but I understand why, which for reasons we'll get into here shortly. And it was another one of these moratorium medallion system. Yeah, ordinances that basically They throw a blanket number down. Here in Destin, it was the amount of medallions for the amount of the boats that we currently have.
Amount of livery boats. Yeah. I think
Correct.
like 400
Yeah.
or so. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did their due diligence at least. It was basically, hey, you can't grow anymore. I think the operators here got bamboozled on that. But they were the ones to vote. I'm not in Destin. They were like, yeah, cool, less competition. And we can get into where I fervently disagree with that. But yeah, so the one in Sarasota, and I did not go do a deep dive. I went onto some of the postings that I watched some of the city council. One of the guys there that had who spoke on behalf of the operators there. I think they were very loosely organized. And he got up there and made a speech on behalf of them and why it was bad. And I've been a part of that like deeply, right? Not, when it was happening in Destin, it didn't even affect me. But I was there. I was a part of that. I listened to it. Not the moratorium piece, but I've been to Destin meetings where they wanted to amend the moratorium, or at the county level where they wanted to create new regulations. Here in Fort Walton Beach, where we worked with them to create regulations, and then all of the craziness that happened after that, where one or two people wanted to amend it, change it, make it more restrictive, all of these things. We've had Adam Botana, state representative of SB 606. We have hired lobbyists. I've been through the mill on all this shit, man. And I can't tell you, there's nothing more about the business that I hate than that. It's just not something I don't want to be involved in politics. I want to run a good, safe business. And, I want to be left alone. I want to be left alone by regulators. I want to be left alone by code enforcement. Give me your codes. I follow the rules. Great. The last thing I want to do is get together with all the operators and fucking hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nor do I think we should even have to. That said, the situation in Sarasota is obviously disconcerting, because it seems as though it started with pickups at public park. Some people are very much against that. In the past I was, currently I don't really care. It doesn't affect me. Some guy doing a bareboat charter. Now don't get me wrong, right? Like this can spin like way out of control. Somebody had like a 49 passenger headboat, 100 passenger ferry, and they're picking up at a park, right? Like it's problematic, right? When county and staff get, 25 applications for a business license or BTR or for liveries, then yeah, I get it, right? And I get it. It's nuanced. It doesn't make me any less angry about it at all, right? Because it is so nuanced, because some of these people are, in marinas and private marinas. Some of them are doing public pickups. Some are doing pickups at, restaurants. Like a lot of this happens in Miami, where they're picking up at private dockages. And so it's a very hard business to regulate. And the other piece of that, the other reason why it's so hard to regulate, is that county and city, once that water line hits, they have no say. It's the Coast Guard, it's the FWC, potentially county sheriff, depending on the infraction or the operation. And so the county just basically says, we don't know what to do with this. We're putting a moratorium. We're putting a medallion system in place. We don't give a shit how many businesses are registered. 400 businesses, too many, or whatever it may be. Even though the water may completely support that. My God, you go to Key West, you go to Miami, there's just thousands of boats out there, man. And it's not all commercial. And that's not to say that there's not problems out on the water, that there's not BUIs, that there's not accidents. And because it's so nuanced, I guess where I get as frustrated as I do is the blunt force response to it, right? There's very little of meeting with operators, with county and staff doing their due diligence to create relationships. And I think that Okaloosa County for all of its faults, and Destin for all of its faults, and Fort Walton Beach and this whole area in general. I mean, I hear about it from Panama City Beach. We're like, we wish, like we were doing like what they're doing in the West, which is organizing, getting together, and then having a representative or 2 or 3 people go in and start to have deliberations and exploratory meetings with county and staff to figure out like what this business model looks like. That parasail is a water sport, but it's a much different thing. That jet skis are a livery. They're technically a charter, but a much different thing. Mm-hmm. And it's lack of understanding about the industry and how it works, which sort of leads to these overreactions on the part of county, on a state, right? State was another one. We saw another one. And feel free to punch in anytime here.
Yeah,
I know I'm on a monologue. Go ahead.
I wanted to read the post to give context a little bit. It only take a minute or so. So the anonymous participant that posted said, a local county government in Florida, which we know is Sarasota, is instituting a new restriction on 6-pack private charters that use public ramps and docks for pickup of passengers. Oh, my screen went black. 1 second. The new restriction is a medallion program based on a silent bid with a $1,200 starting bid. They're allowing 60 medallions to be purchased. There are currently over 1,000 licensed captain, over 300 businesses listed as a charter or boat tour in Google Maps. The restrictions will make it so that jet ski rentals, boat rentals, bareboat charters are all illegal, and any small 6-pack charter that doesn't get a medallion will also be illegal. This puts hundreds of businesses out of business. Curious as to how other area and businesses handle where to pick up their passengers. I'm most interested in how single captain, single boat who trailer their boat to ramp actually do business. The other piece to the new restrictions, on top of having to bid and pay an annual fee to the county to have a medallion, you also have to have a $1 million insurance policy that includes the county. The county estimates captains will bid $5,000 for a medallion. So estimate cost to a business is about $7,000 to $10,000. That is a substantial hit to their bottom line. The other issue we have is that all private marinas are full with long waiting lists, and there are no commercial docks in the county. Many locations are still recovering from the hurricane in 2024. So telling the businesses to go to a marina isn't an answer. The sad thing is tourism is booming. There are more than enough charters to go around. Cutting the operators will cause a drop in tourism. Now, there are dozens of comments. There's up to 40 comments now, over 1,000 views. This is one of the most active posts we've had in a while. If you haven't, make sure to join our Facebook group, Watersport, Boat Rental, Jet Ski Rental Operators. Just search for it on Facebook. You'll find it. It's free to join. But I have just a couple things to say. I've read through it a little bit, and it's a little fresh, and I'm looking forward to diving more into it. But the insurance part of it should be a non-negotiable to this.
Yeah, agreed.
They have to have insurance. That's just like anyone fighting for that. That should not be even in the compromise. That should be, we're going to do this because we want to keep people safe. Because those that don't have insurance are typically the ones that cause problems and are maybe the reason why. Second,
well, wait for liveries in the state of Florida. It's a requirement. Like you have to have $1 million, and to add on the county is nothing. Like I mean, it's like $100 for each additionally insured. I mean, you have to add FWC as additionally insured on your policy anyway. So
yeah.
Adding additionally insured is, I mean, that's not cost
in some policies. It's free to do that.
Yeah. So that's, I'm not going to give you a lot of credit there. You got to have $1 million, man.
So here's what I've learned. So we went through this whole thing with Okaloosa County, Destin, Fort Walton. In Destin, there is a moratorium. I believe Destin's the only other municipality in Florida that has a moratorium. There might be others, but at the time they were the only ones. So what we learned through that whole process, and Kevin, you said this in your comment on that post, was that there's only so many things that you can control. At the end of the day, you need elected officials to understand the industry and honestly be part of it. So when this all went down with Destin, Fort Walton tried to initiate a moratorium. And what do? We mobilized. We formed our coalition. We got a lot of assistance from companies, even politicians, everyone kind of joined on this bandwagon to fight it back. And they tried to put that emergency moratorium, which I didn't realize this in Florida. Emergency moratoriums don't need to be publicized very well. They can put these in place and shut things down with very little time in between. Now it's temporary, obviously, but without us, we actually had an official elected, Nick Algretto, in Fort Walton, and he alerted us of what was going on. If it wasn't for Nick, there would be a 6-month moratorium. So going back to that point that you made is that now this has happened in Sarasota. What are y'all going to do about it? If you think that you're going to convince your current elected officials to change their mind, you're mistaken. Maybe you might get them to think a little differently, but that hasn't been the case in our situation because we had a lot of council commissioners that were part of the fishing industry or part of other parts of the area that they don't want our businesses in there. So there's no changing their minds.
Yeah. I mean, so there's a part of me, like a big part of me that's like, fuck it. You know, get you and the other 3 guys that are going to sustain like punitive damages and hire an attorney and file an injunction and dox every last one of them. Fucking, there's nothing hate. No, there's nothing these fucking scumbag fucking politicians hate more, like the cockroaches that they fucking are, is when you shine a fucking light on them. And the fact of the matter is, none of this, I would have never got involved in any of this, as if it wasn't for a weasel ass article put out in the Northwest Florida Daily fucking News that highlighted us being like, oh, you know, the way it was written was so like, because half of them are hand in hand. You're running a local rag. Like you need to have relationships with local officials. And it's always the same narrative. And like, love them or hate them, I understand why Trump goes out and fucking bashes the media and sues everybody and just invokes lawfare, because unfortunately you can see it even on the local stage that it's a machine, and that Greg and I were talking about on the show or before the show that it's usually one person. It's one person who's trying to make their political bones, and they're not creative enough to fucking or impactful enough to actually find something that like matters to them. And then it's this. And I've seen it multiple times. I've seen it at the county level, I've seen it at the city level, and I've seen it at the state level. Somebody's trying to make a political career, and the people that vote in these fucking elections are the same people that sit up on the chair. Okay. 90% of them haven't done shit. 90% of your officials sitting up there are fucking public servants. They've never run a business. They have no idea what it takes to run and scale a business. If they have, it's usually some retiree who doesn't give a shit, who's not like built anything substantial, and is up there for, you know, out of like almost sheer fuking boredom.
And the other thing too is that some of these elected officials, especially in Florida, they're retired. It is about their quality of life. And you think about in most Florida communities, especially Sarasota is a very retirement heavy community, and their constituents from these elected officials, they're going to have a lot of say. And this is the thing that sucks about doing business in a town where you have a lot of retirees, where, I mean, I can't even deny it. If I was in my 80s and I lived on the water and I had jet ski zooming by every single day when I just want to sit in the back and pretty much waste my last years away, like that's not how I want to live either. So I get it where they're at. But
yeah, I mean, and it's like they all afford boats. They're all fucking boaters, man. They're all out there. They're all on their fucking very expensive, very nice boats. It's their recreational activity, and they have nothing better to do than be like, oh, look at this dumbass. And then when you look at the actual incident report in FWC and who's responsible for most of the goddamn accidents, it's fucking them. And it's the most fucking frustrating thing on the fucking planet when you, who got 100 hours or more of fucking operating experience, and you're the dumb shit that's running into everybody, and you're fucking half in the bag drunk. And I'm out here trying to run a business as an actual maritime professional, and I'm getting the fucking the blame publicly for the shit that your demographic is the ones actually fucking doing. Like, fuck you and fuck out of here, man. The amount of business, small businesses and fucking jobs and captains of people that are trying to make their start in this fucking industry being decimated by lawmakers and fucking landowners and retirees makes me sick to my fucking stomach, because there's 300, 400 people that vote in these bullshit fucking local elections, and they're the same people that sit up on the fucking board like, oh, I'm going to run for fucking office. And they look at that and they go, oh yeah, you know, you're overrunning our fucking parks. And to the point, to the guy who made the Mark something or another, who made the argument that it's like, well, and I forget the word, but it's like taking money for something, commercial activity. Like, is Uber going to be affected the same way? And I'll fucking tell you why categorically not. Because Uber did exactly what I'm telling you to do, is they fucking sued. They put injunctions in, they fought, and they hit the government, and they hit the state governments in their fucking pockets. All the taxi unions, all the fucking people that were like, no Uber in my city. Tell me you go to one city that doesn't have Uber, because the fact of the matter is the marketplace wanted Uber. And the fact of the matter is the marketplace wants boat rentals, and they want charters. And it's not just fucking like people visiting out of town. It's locals who can't afford boats. And we're like the first introduction into the recreation.
And a lot of times the locals that can't afford boats, they're not influential.
They're not voting.
They're not voting. And so, what do we do in Fort Walton? Fort Walton was a masterclass on basically exactly what we're talking about. We mobilized. We got people in office that are industry veterans, like Ben Murrell. We got people to listen that were on the board, that were on the fence. We got them to listen and understand our side.
Yeah, but it's such a long road, dude. And
it's a long road. It took us years. It took us years to get there.
And it's not guaranteed to fucking work, man. And if I could go back in time, and if it happened today again, I would use all of the powers that I have, which is social media, which is hiring PR, which is fucking, posting nasty negative articles about who these people are and what they do. Because a lot of them aren't good fucking people. And a lot of them don't give a shit about the community. A lot of them want a piece of power.
Well, we don't know that about these. I don't know the Sarasota commissioners or council.
I bet you they're awful.
Well,
I bet you they're awful human beings. Because
I don't want to make any assumptions on them.
No. You're not going to stop me on this. No. But then figure it out. Man. Like look, I see it. You see it happen on the national fucking stage every day. You use the same tactics. They have their city attorney going like, are we going to be able to get away with this? Right. Because some of it, like the one that they put on me out at the islands, they didn't have their city attorney. They were like, they put a bugaboo, and they were like, fucking, oh, maybe he won't do anything. Maybe he won't challenge it. Because there were so many jurisdictional issues with that current case. And they don't always just go like, hey man, we're going to 100% research this. Sometimes they put a fucking boogeyman out and they say, hey, you can't do this. And without going through all the legal channels, because getting the correct attorney, what they did might not be legal. So the first thing that you have to do is consult with an attorney and pay the money and see if what they did was actually legal in the first place. Because if it wasn't, it's a slam dunk. And if it hasn't been instituted yet, then you can get an injunction filed. And here's my problem with it, right? Why it was anonymous, right? This is the portion that bothers me so fucking much, is that it's like, I have to make this post anonymous because I don't want to stir up, because I don't want any problems. I don't want them coming and fucking with my business. And that is, man, this is fucking America, man. Like, this is not the conditions that you build or scale or do anything. Like, America's built on business. you know, and these attitudes and ideas about like, oh, the greedy water sports people. And I've got to hear that shit. It drives me nuts, man. It's like, you know, fuck you, man. How about the greedy employees who want to fucking raise? How about the greedy insurance companies who need more money because there's increasing accidents? It's not about being greedy. It's about trying to fucking survive. It's trying to about hire people. Like we're small businesses. And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you can do what Greg said. You know what I mean? You can mobilize, you can form a coalition, you can go through all that shit.
I mean, those things are long. Those are things that have to start now,
and not long-term solution. Not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed, but these are the things that you have to start doing now to change things later down the road. Like it took us multiple years to get to where we need to be. You know, to get people on our. Even I think all our commission, local municipalities. I think they're all much more educated because of our efforts, and we even have some more friendly politicians that are in seats right now because of it. That's a long-term.
But that is making the assumption that they fucking care, Greg. And 9 times out of 10, they don't. You know, we know that when they get up there, they've made their mind. All you get to do is maybe get a couple, if you fight back, you get a couple of provisions in the regulations that don't make it so goddamn hard to operate. And we know that it's death by 1,000 cuts. And at some point, somebody has to get up and say, fuck you. Like, we're going to make this so expensive and so hard and affect your next campaign. I will sit there and gather everything you've ever fucking voted on and put together TikToks and YouTubes and everything else. That was always my first line. Like, let's run shit on these guys. Let's put them out there. Let's put them in the light. What other bullshit have these guys done to other businesses or other, like, I mean, I hear about it all the time. It's not just our industry. It's just something that they get zero education on. They have a buddy who's spearheading the initiative and they're just running with them. You know, so they're trying to help their friend out over here, or they're, you know what I mean? This is all like, and I'm not saying it's like conspiratorial, and not all of them are horrible. You know what I mean? But
there's some good ones.
But there is. But the ones that are making your life a living hell. Fight back, man. Fight back. Make their life a living hell too. You want to put out a lot of bullshit about our businesses and how it's like doing all this damage and this harm and unsafe and all things that, you know, are, you know, subjectively untrue. I think there's at least a conversation to have. But if they're unwilling to have a conversation, if they're unwilling to have us to be a part of the conversation, or they're going to have us be a part of the conversation, but the conclusion's already foregone and it's going to go that way anyway, then, and you're just placating, then at what point do you just lawyer up and then go like, yeah, you know what, we're going to fight to get this fucking guy out. And here's all the other instances of where this one person was just had ulterior motives, who does not care about the best industry of small business, who doesn't care about the interests of job creation and job growth, that's your main fucking thing to do up there.
Well, the thing is, they have the right to be subjective. They were voted in. They don't have to listen to the people at all. They can say what they want. They can do what they want. When Destin was going through the moratorium, the mayor is a fishing captain. He hated boat rentals, and he made it very clear, I don't want any more boats here. I don't want to hear it. And that was it. That was the end of it. There's some scenarios where they're not going to change their mindset. And in that situation, you have to figure out a way to get them out of there. You have to mobilize people. You have to support candidates. And I spent thousands of dollars. You did too. We spent thousands supporting candidates. And I've never spent $1, not even a presidential election. I've never spent $1 until the Fort Walton Beach election and the Destin council elections. I never thought in a million years I would be in that situation. I spent tens of thousands supporting their different candidates.
I'll tell you what none of them want, and what they're all going to hang their head when it happens is when an attorney gets involved. Nobody wants the attorneys to get involved because they know how expensive it is, and they know how long and drug out it's going to be. And at the end of the day, man, like, this is what they're doing to us, and I just, like, I can't stomach it anymore. It fucking makes me so angry. You know what I mean? That it's just like, oh, instead of 60, I will give you 100. Like, where did you come up with that number, man? Did you just make it up there on the fucking spot? Because I read further down in other posts where they said they had come to, you know, they gave that concession. Oh, okay. Instead of putting, 250 people out of business. We'll just put out 200 people out of business. How do you like that? And then maybe you get to be in our lottery and our bizarre fucking bidding for medallions every year, which is just, it's unsustainable, man. Like you can't run a business like that.
The taxpayers are going to have to foot the bill for a long lawsuit, and they don't want it. It looks bad on the commission.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I'm not, you're going to have to talk to an attorney, but if I'm in that position, if my business is there, I'm getting together with dozens of other captains that are affected. I'm hiring a lawyer, and I'm going to see if it's possible to file an injunction to extend the negotiation to get a better. I would not stop at this. If you are a business in Sarasota and you got years built into your, like this person posting, do not stop. Get an attorney, figure out if you can file an injunction, and continue to negotiate until you can't anymore. Because at some point, they're going to have to decide if they want to continue paying money to this, or they're going to want to come and compromise, because you can't just put hundreds of people out of business like that. And again, you're going to have to give up something. People are going to have to get insurance.
Or you can run, or you can just fucking run. Because I've had that conversation too, where the 500 is it, the little $500 fucking infraction fee, whatever they give you, you get 3 of them, you'll get a misdemeanor. I mean, look, I'm not going to tell tales out of school, but I know some guys got fucking arrested off their boat because they're like, fuck you, burn in hell. I'm going to continue to run. You're not going to take my fucking business away. I don't care if I got to go build a tank and run it through City Hall. Like, I am not going to just let you fucking destroy my business overnight because you wanted to make a political career out of it. Because I'll tell you what, they don't have enough code enforcements on the planet to keep you guys from not fucking picking up your customers and doing whatever it is, making whatever argument is and getting the ticket and then going to court and fighting it and making that argument. It's like, well, we're not exchanging money here. They're buying the thing on an app, and then I'm just picking them up here and getting a crafty attorney and fighting that. And I get it. I hear the pushback from all of my peers. Oh man, people running out at public parks is fucking bad for us.
Yeah. I like this one guy's comment: better to ask for forgiveness than for permission.
100%.
Yeah,
I mean, I said that
yeah.
to somebody else too, right? You know what I mean? Because at some point you have to take off your captain hat and you got to put on your entrepreneur hat and you got to fight like fucking hell, because it's not going to stop. They're not going to quit. Every guy that's got a 72 sport fish who likes fucking dicking off on the weekends and doesn't want people, and to them, this is what I say. You don't like living in a fucking tourist town, man? I got an idea for you. Fucking go on down the road, pal. Pack up fucking shop, because it is what it fucking is, man. Orlando, Sarasota, Key West, we're all tourist towns, man. I don't want people fucking putting a byway down my street, which is what they want to do. I went to one thing and I said the same thing to the engineer and the same people sitting there. I say, hey, we could skip this whole meeting. We can all get together and go, hey man, you're going to take easement property off my shit. Awesome. Let's go see the county and file an injunction and be done with it. We'll sue them for fucking punitive damages for the acreage that they're going to take off my property. And when you put us all together, that makes it like a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Or if I don't want to do that, then I can fucking move. It's as simple as that.
I want to just bring one point back up, because this is kind of similar to this situation, but renting your boat on a public boat ramp. You said in the beginning that you at first you kind of cared, but now you don't really care about it.
Nope.
I have slightly different opinion. I depending on where you're at, if there is no slip space, and there is the possibility of using a boat ramp, I don't necessarily disagree with it. I have a lot of wave res customers that use boat ramps. However, when you are not insured, if you're not a licensed delivery operator, you're taking up public resources from.
You don't have to be a livery operator. You be charter for hire. Charter for hire is bareboat charter. Charter for hire, 2 different things. So charter for hire has different laws on it.
Okay. I mean, there's people that are charter for hire that use boat ramps to pick up their customers.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with the boat ramp usage. However, if it is becoming a nuisance, if you're not doing things the right way, it's taking away from public resources. Because some of these boat ramps don't have unlimited parking, and if every single day I go to, like, let's say on the weekends, I want to just use my private boat, and it's all taken up by commercial, and none of these commercial folks are paying anything more to be there. I can understand the gripe between the residents and
100%.
commercial.
But I also think there too, that there's got to be some nuance, right? Like, okay, I mean, I'm trying to think of a good use case. Here in Florida, it's just such a hot topic, right? Because of the amount of it, which I do understand. But is there like a medium there, right? Is there like a cap that you can put on it? Is there a fee that you can pay to the city that they could further develop, make your parks bigger? Like, is there a world in which we can coexist together and create something that makes sense? Like, at the top of the show, I'm like, look, man, I get it, dude. You get like 150 applications for liveries or chartered. You're like, whoa, like we got to here, man. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have enough parking for that, right? Like, and then it could become like, once it starts to become not a public nuisance but a public safety concern, which I can understand too. You got, look at Key West is a prime example where you have so many people and they're parking on the street. They're parking in front of people's houses. They're all but parking in their fucking driveways to come to the public marina that they have.
Well, what about the boat setter, Get My Boat, or marketplace, where maybe they have bought renter's insurance off of those marketplaces, but they actually aren't insured as a business, or maybe they don't need to. I don't know. Like,
I mean, I'm not saying that you don't need insurance, man. I mean, I'm obviously we have to follow our state laws, and I'm not saying that we're like completely, but I don't know, man. Is there like somebody that's got a fucking vision where it's like, hey, man, this is such a big part of our economy and it's such a big industry that we have to figure out a solution that just doesn't cut the head off or, again, use blunt force trauma. It's like, look, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah. Look at Key West. Key West has got a massive public marina and they have private marinas. I mean, and then I asked that too, right? Like, you guys got to have some kind of private marinas with boat ramps in there that surely you could go drop in at, maybe, but maybe that is like a long tail vision for the community. It's not like, you have a factory rise up and give the job 1,000 towns and then you just shut the fucking factory down one day because you don't like car manufacturing parts, or you know what I mean, or pollution, whatever it is. Like, you have to come to some type of agreement that doesn't decimate the industry, decimate the people that have already created businesses there, and figure out something that works. Because they're not saying that they're not going to allow people to do pickup. They're saying they're only going to allow 100 of them. Yeah. And then my question on that is that a nuance? Like, and I don't have clarification on this. Reading through the comments and reading through one of the guys that was at the proceedings, I was led to believe that also included marina owners. Now, if you cap it at 100 for the park, and you say, hey, other 200 people, you're shit out of luck. Like, I mean, that fucking sucks, right? But if that's everything, if that's private marinas too, then that's a real problem. Like, if you're saying like, hey, we're gonna, or we're gonna cap it at the amount, like we're not gonna issue any more past these established businesses, or even if you said, hey, like businesses that have been, in business for 2 or 3 years or whatever it is, or whatever it was that you're trying to come to some type of compromise. I get it. I get that it's a challenge, but at the same point in time, there's got to be a compromise. There's got to be a conversation. And then in the face of that not happening, then you sue. Like, if the conversation didn't happen, everybody got together, they passed their bullshit law, and they're like, sorry, you're shit out of luck. We don't care. Awesome. We're going to make you care. We're going to make you care. And you fucking shine light on the people that did it. And you fucking let them know, like, hey, this isn't the first time they've done it. It was all public use. It's all on the record. Like, everything all these guys did. And the reason I say that is because, one, most of those people care about the same fucking thing, and that's getting back in office. So you start by using the same thing that they use against us, which is public opinion. And if they're creating a narrative about you that you say, hey, that this isn't true, then use social media to create a narrative back about them. It's a fucking war at that point, because it's a war for your livelihood. And I would do anything anything to protect all of that I built over the last 8 years. And I know every single one of those captains, every single one of those businesses feel the exact same way. And so at that point, I feel like, yeah, you got to go like, hey, we're going to do everything we can to get you out, to get somebody else involved. To that point, yes, you know, like the people that are running for office, you got to go and shake hands and say, hey, where do you stand on this? And, you know, the ones that seem like they're not lying to your fucking face, you write them a check and, you know, donate to their campaign, get them in, you know, and we're not saying like buy them off, but it's the same donor class, the same political system that works, right? And then you make the ones look bad that are there, and you try and get the ones instilled in office that are not scumbags and actually have an open ear and have no, you know, dog in the fight on this kind of shit. And then you get a lawyer and you file an injunction. Like, at some point it's got to stop.
Yeah. And, you know, this is not all bad. I'm sure like this ordinance will probably get rid of some of the bad, the rogue operators or the people that are not following the rules. There's probably some good that's going to come out of this, but it just bleeds too heavily into what's, you know, the operatives that are actually doing the right thing, that are trying to make a living. And that's why they have to file an injunction to open up the conversation a little bit more, put a little pressure on council or commissioners to negotiate.
We've given inches in this business when this stuff has happened, and always turns into a mile. And that's why I'm like, well, I don't care about the parks anymore. I just don't, because it starts with the parks and then it becomes us. And then you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
remember for Walton, we did the ordinance, and then once we gave them the ordinance, what did they do? They wanted to go and revise it again and put more restrictions in it.
One fucking guy wanted to, and it's always one person. And I guarantee you what's happening in Sarasota can be traced to one fucking person who's trying to make their political career off this. And I'm fucking tired of it, man.
You give them the ordinance, and that's the mechanics to continue to wrench down until they completely wipe the industry out. And that's why they got you. If you're in Sarasota and you're affected, you got to fight back. Don't look at this as the end. You guys got to mobilize and fight back.
You gotta bully them as much as they bully us, man. And at the end of the day, dude, fucking, you know, say what you want about Trump, you know, but I understand. I know Greg gets all scared. Oh my God, don't mention Trump. But I don't give a shit, frankly. You know, at the end of the day, I just, you know what I mean? Like, do I agree with everything the guy does? No, but do I understand like pieces of it where he's like the fucking media and the government and everything? And it's just like, you know what? That portion of it where he just sues everybody. When something doesn't go his way, he's like, oh, fine, we'll just fucking sue him. Because like, whether you like it or not, this is what it all comes down to. It's always money. It's always money. And that's why no one ever wants the attorneys to get involved, because that always costs everybody way more money. And so it's like, you know, you got to have that option. You got to press that button. It's the nuclear option. Nobody wants it, but it's either that, or you get to go get a job, or you get to go do something that you don't love. And it's like, I don't know, man. I love this business. I love the people running it. I think the people pulling up at parks, I don't think that's a real business personally. I think eventually you got to figure it out. I get that there's no marina space. I understand that. Then you got to you know, to Josh's comment, it's like, well, got to play business like a big boy. 100%, man. You got to go buy a business that's, you know, failing. And I get it. I know, you know, but that is a part of the business landscape. And I want us to be able to win and survive and thrive and compete in the business landscape, not the political one.
Perfect way to end this show. Well, that's a wrap. Get your port tickets, join our peer groups, join our Facebook groups, and
do all the things. Be friends with me. I've got great advice.
And keep it awkward, not too awkward, but keep it a little awkward.
Keep it angry.
Keep it angry. We'll keep it angry. All right. See ya.
Fucking